Hello everyone, I'm back with another Inktober 2018 video, and this time I've been playing around with alcohol inks. So I just made a couple of flowers here, one big one, really multicolored as you can see here, and a smaller one, and I also made this ink painting that's just an abstract. I just wanted to play around with deco foil and getting some sparkles in there. So, I'm not thrilled with it. I still think it's beautiful though. I will use it for parts for a collage, which I'm planning on doing with the flowers. So stay tuned for a bigger painting on that. And also here it is in lower light, so you can see the deco foil, how it really sparkles. The video just doesn't capture it. And here's my little buddy, Sherlock. He's a year old now, so he just wanted to say hello. Okay, so I have a Lazy Susan here. I have my duster can of air, which I end up not using. Isopropyl 70% spray alcohol, Ranger alcohol blending solution. I've got a bunch of alcohol inks, which you can't see. My Lazy Susan covered in cling wrap, freezer stuff. And I have a tool the Tim Holtz tool to on the right there to mix the alcohol inks on the paper. So as you can see here, I'm trying this new can of duster stuff that I got at Home Hardware here in Canada, and I just don't like it. I don't know if there's not enough control on the sprayer, or if stuff is actually spraying out, because I think it is. I just don't like any of it, so I didn't use that, and I ended up returning that to the store. I end up just using a straw, and it just works just fine. I will give out a warning to people who are asthmatic, or if you don't have enough ventilation. You have to be careful working with alcohol inks, as you can get really lightheaded, especially with the blowing through the straw. You don't want to breathe too many of these fumes. They can be toxic, so make sure a window's open or you have some sort of fan or ventilation. I had a window open. I didn't have too many problems, but I just was careful using these, and you should be too. Okay, that's pretty much it for my instructions on this video. I'm not going to do a lot of talking because it's pretty self-evident what I'm doing. I'm just blowing through a straw, and then I might talk a bit in the end when I apply the deco foil to it. But really there's not a lot to say there either. But I'll check in again with you later. So just have fun watching the video and get creative with your alcohol inks in this Inktober 2018. Okay, so here's a funny thing you shouldn't do. I put the gold foil down the wrong way. Yeah, my very first time using this stuff. And I did it wrong. That's okay. I just flipped it over and I put it down the right way, and some gold foil got on there, but it kind of ruined the flower. So that sucks, but no big deal. We know that alcohol inks are very flexible and forgiving, so all you have to do is put some more on there and literally just blow right over the parts that were ruined. So that's what I love about this stuff. It's really abstract. You can really just keep working it, keep moving it, and just really work really quickly in that way to change things. Okay, I'm starting my second flower here, and I'm going to give a couple of tips of things that I learned. So most people, when I see doing this for the first time, they're trying to get the inks to move, but they don't put enough blending solution or pure alcohol on to get the inks to move the way they want them to, and then they get frustrated. Like if you just put a drop of alcohol ink down, you maybe have 1 or 2 seconds to play around and it won't spread very far. But if you put a little dollop of alcohol blending solution down first, or just plain alcohol, then you really have like a slip and slide for your alcohol to slide on, and it gives it somewhere to go and gives you some time to work with it, because you want it to be fluid, right? For a little bit, you want to blow it around and whatnot. The other tip that I have is, like for centers of flowers, I blow in little tiny circles softly, and that keeps it in the one general area. Oops, purple spill, did you see that? And then for these leaves, like let's say I want a big broad stroke of flat color, you blow sort of slowly and consistently in a medium breath. But if you want those big spiky fingers, you blow quick and fast and hard, and that will shoot it out. So I really do, it takes just a couple of seconds to get it. At least it did for me. And so I could really control the look. You know, I got the little spiky fingers out at the end, and then sort of here you see how I'm blowing in a medium way and turning it around. So that's the difference. You want to blow in a medium, even fashion to get a broad petal of color. And then here you'll see, okay, so first I'm establishing sort of a middle size ring there. And then as I get to the center, I blow a little more just in a circle. You see how I move the straw in a circle like that? That will give you a ring, just like that right there. A ring. There we go. Again, a ring. So instead of petals, you're getting like a center of a flower. And I've not seen a lot of people talk about that, although I sort of got that one really quickly. But here I'm establishing again the center. So I'm sort of going in a small circles, and it gives you the center of the flower. Hope that helps. So here what I'm doing, I'm actually just blowing in a very soft way over the whole thing, because I'm trying to dry it to get it to that tacky stage to put the foil on. So that you're just going to have to play it by ear. I can't give a time because it really depends on, you know, how much alcohol you use, the drying time, but you want to get it to a sticky state. It shouldn't be flowy and wet, and it shouldn't be dry, but it should be in the middle where it's sticky. I mean, obviously, but you just have to play that one by ear. So here I'm developing my round sort of technique. I want to go for a sort of round looking flower. So I'm practicing those straw circles that I was talking about before, and that's giving me a really beautiful base. And I'm going in with the gold too, because it really does disperse that gold very evenly throughout the petals, as you can see that's happening there. I might slow this part down so you can see real time the technique. So at this point I was working on the other flower and I figured, okay, that's enough time that the other flower is probably tacky enough. Yeah, and it's sticking to it, you see? So I just lay down this decofoil piece and kind of leave it there. And I thought, well, why not just let it dry on there? So instead of trying to rip it off too quickly, I'll just let the alcohol dry under some of those pieces. And then I just go back to working on my round flower. Okay, so I'm working on the center of this flower, and I notice a lot of people having trouble with that because, you know, the dots spread out too far and they can't control it very well, and it is hard to control. But I found that if I put a drop in quickly, and if you blow on that in even fashion quickly, it almost keeps it from going too far. So if you can get that drop on there and then get on it and blow consistently, as in to dry it like you're blowing on soup, like not too hard, you really can get that dot of alcohol to stay in that small area. Okay, time to rip this gold foil off like a beautiful gilded band-aid. And if you want a lot of gilding, then put it on there and keep it on there when it dries. That gave me a heck of a lot of bling. Again, so I'm going to work on the center of this flower here, and I do the same technique that I just figured works the best here. You'll see I put a dot on, and then I just take the straw and blow on it evenly, and it dries it out fast enough so that it can't spread. And it gave me a good center there, if you can see that. Okay, so we're back to the very first flower that I blew here, and after I taught myself this sort of technique of rounding out and concentrating the center, I'm just going back and fixing up that center and making it a little more structured. So again, I'm just doing the same thing as you can watch me here. I'm just putting that gold and the yellowish gold alcohol and doing circles in a concentrated way again. So what I have in mind for these flowers here are I'm going to eventually cut them out and make a bigger painting with them. So I didn't like the outside of this flower, and I figured it would be too hard to cut out. So I'm just going in and sculpting it and making it into what I originally intended, a little more round of a flower, sort of a stylized, very round, even-edged flower. Okay, so here's the last part of the video. You can feel free to skip this if you want. I'm done with the flowers, and I'm just gonna do a plain abstract alcohol ink painting and then gild it with the deco foil at the end. I do use some interesting techniques with scratching on the deco foil with my fingernail, you know, after the tackiness stage is over. So you might want to watch that, and if you have this video and you're going to sleep to it, then hey, maybe you're asleep. But feel free to enjoy this pure abstract playing with the inks. Unfortunately though, I only have the first, you know, 1/3 of the painting because my phone cut out like a third of the way through and I didn't know, so I lost all the footage. But you can see the end result, and you can watch me play for a little bit.